Hey, what's up? What's
and
up?
turn Kenya into a one-party state was throughout there through multi-partyism to do with presidents.
Yep.
And who have I met? Well, I've met quite a number of presidents, by the way. And Kenya's presidents, of course, Jomo Kenyatta, you can take him out of the equation. I never met Moi, which is one of my biggest regrets. I wish I did. I wish I really did, because I'd have loved to know the way his mind works. So I never met Moi. I met Kibaki. I knew Kibaki when he was still an opposition figure.
Tell us how you met him.
We used to play golf at Muthaiga. He was a golfer.
First time?
First time I ever met Moi Kibaki, I was really young, because I think we'd gone to his house. And that time he was Minister for Finance. So I was really, really young. I was really, really young. Then, of course, drifted apart, went did our thing, came back from Europe and America.
So, like, first time you're meeting him, was he already a president, Ama?
No, he was a finance minister.
But you knew him at the
Moi
time?
had fired him as vice president and made him minister. No, he was finance minister before he became vice president. Yes, so then he was fired by Moi. Then he was made a minister for health. That was much later on. So actually, when I met him, he was vice president. You're right. He was vice president when I first met him. Vice president and minister for, is it home affairs or finance? I don't know. One of those. So I went to his house. I'm friends with his children.
Of course. You went to which school? They were your classmates, huh?
We went to school together. We hung out together.
Dynasty.
We did biashara together. So I met Kibaki. Then I met him at the golf club. And I was fortunate enough to play a few rounds with him. Very jolly guy. I must say, very fine gentleman. And before he became too old for it, he loved his kamnyweso, which we had very much in common. So that was, it was fun meeting Kibaki. Then, of course, he became president. And for his election, I actually worked with his children, especially his daughter Judy, on his presidential campaign. I also worked with her again during his re-election campaign of 2007. And when he retired, when he left office, I saw him for the last time. And it was fond memories. By then he was there, but it was nice times. He was a good man. The
story you told me, were you lucky enough to meet Mama Lucy?
Yes, I met Mama Lucy quite a few times. Again at their house. The late Mama, she was fiery as always. Full of fire.
I hope she didn't slap you.
We are not going to go there. But she was, let me tell you something about Mama Lucy. Mama Lucy was very protective about her family. If you threatened to say anything or do anything against her family, you'd have to kill her first. So she was a loyal mother, a loyal wife. To her family came first, above everything else. So I'll give that to her, and rest in peace, Mama Lucy and Mzee Kibaki. Then came President Uhuru.
Your guy, your boy.
I met Uhuru. First time I met Uhuru, it was, it's going to be a story for another day, but let me just say this. It was before he joined government. Before we put him in government. I met him for the first time before. I'm going to give you the whole story one day. That's a separate episode on its own. President Ruto, I knew President Ruto for ages. When I was on Kiss FM, I used to call him up for interviews.
You met him like physically before all this?
Yes. I used to call him for interviews. I used to speak to him on air just at Christmas time to wish Kenyans a Merry Christmas. What are you up to? He always had 500 people in his homestead every Christmas. I think he has 500 people a day in his homestead every day. But the thing about President Ruto is that he pays attention to you. And I love that about him. He's good with details. He's got a good memory, and he says what he thinks. He knew what he's going to be facing in 2022 last year, 10 years ago. Wow. And what he told me, I think a few weeks after they were inaugurated, as he was deputy president, who was president, it played out exactly the same way as he said 10 years ago last year. So he's a guy who knows where he's going, and he's a very nice person with a very, very homely place. And Mama Rachel is another nice lady. I've been to their house way late at night when the then DP wanted to see me, and she still got up and still made a meal, and it was about 11:30 in the evening. It was one of the most humblest things ever. So aside and apart from Kenyan presidents, I've met President Museveni.
Oh, really?
Yes, and I'll tell you where I met them. Because I met all these guys in one place. I met Museveni, I met Jacob Zuma. That guy, that's a story. That's an episode on its own.
So you've got
Hey.
Uhuru's story.
Yes.
That's a whole episode.
Yes.
And then
Zuma.
Zuma.
Zuma is a movie.
Tell us about Museveni.
I don't know why a movie is never been done called Zuma.
They say Museveni is the only man who can sit while
And-
standing. He sits like this.
Museveni is a very chilled guy. Very chilled guy. I also met the late Zimbabwean president, Robert Mugabe. In the same place as I met all these guys. Lots of ambassadors. And I met those during the inauguration ceremony for Uhuru Kenyatta
Oh, this was back
in 2013.
2013.
Yes. Then another president who was actually a friend of mine
Damn, you've met
for a while was former Zambian president Edgar Lungu.
Oh.
Edgar Lungu is a very nice man.